It's that caring family of believers that communicates and applies the life-changing message of Christ's unconditional love. Whether you be a woman or a girl or a man or a boy, God's given us our gifts. We're here to use them and to serve Him and to serve others. So this is a wonderful place. And then another one, I remember, I think in 2007, Angel Food Ministry was a nationwide ministry that our church became involved in. And it was helping people with food. And, monthly people would come to the church, about 25 families, I think, and, they would pay like $20 and get a big box of food. Well, in 2011, the Angel Food Ministry quit. And Ruth Cawthon and her team had been in charge of the Angel Food Ministry here at Trinity. Well, whenever the nationwide ministry quit, Ruth said, we can't quit. We've got these families. So she and her team figured out how to work with the food bank. And now Bountiful Blessings, the 25 families are now 180 families that our church helps monthly, and, at no cost to them. And so that's an amazing thing too, I think.
Yeah. And the stories that you shared have just been women who have seen a need and stepped up.
Exactly.
And done a lot of work that maybe goes without recognition. That they're not doing it for a platform just because they want that recognition, but maybe it's just because the Lord has given them a vision, put something on their heart, and they've been willing to take that next step, which is really beautiful. Yeah.
With the amazing ladies, we had a women's ministry that had kind of fizzled through the years, and so it was invigorated again. And I was on that interim team, and now Barbara Bach and I help with the Guess Who's Coming to Dinner every year for that. And then this year was the first year I've done the Floral team, which is, I've always said that's the most important team on the church, I think, is because, we break down the altar flowers into smaller arrangements, and they're just available for people to take to people in the hospital or nursing homes or something. So that's my first year for being a florist, but it's been fun.
Yeah, if there's a team, there's a good bet that Phyllis Patterson
Well,
has
that's what
served
tell me it's a celebration, and I will do the decorations and write a poem about it.
Yeah, you were very gifted at that. And the Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, I've been really blessed by that because I work with the emerging adult population. And so a lot of these people, don't have family that are connected here necessarily, and they have been able to go to those gatherings, and it's been a really big blessing for them to have intergenerational relationships. And also, I think, when you're in your 20s and you don't have to eat another bowl of 25-cent ramen for dinner. Yeah, it's a really, really good thing. So I love that the empowering and supporting of women is not just something that's siloed by age group, but it's seen through our youngest to our oldest members as well. It's really, really
and
beautiful.
I love connecting people and inviting people to serve. In 2005, I guess I started the staff appreciation team, and just kind of handpicked people that weren't on a lot of different teams or anything like that. And we do something for the staff every month, just a little something, and so from 2005 to now, there have been wonderful and fun women on that team. And that's what I do think. If you're using your gifts, it's fun. It's not work, and it's not, an effort. And that's what I think we all need to do and do around here.
Absolutely. That it can be a joy. And I mean, that's one of the things that Jesus promises is that he came to bring us life and life abundantly. And so I love that when you're using your gifts for the purpose of the kingdom and loving other people well, that it really does overflow from this spring of joy that's in your soul. And you touched on this a little bit earlier with your boys in the children's ministry, but I would love for you to talk a little bit more about how has it impacted not just you, but your family as well, to be able to see women teach and preach in a Baptist church?
It probably went just over the boys' heads, when they were here. Now, one of them is the husband of this wife who teaches and preaches, so he understands it better now.
Absolutely.
I do just think the nurturing, the loving, and we would always go on Wednesday night, and our favorite people that the boys sat with were 60 and 70-year-olds. And, they were loved well, by them. And so I do think the 5 generations and just the women that are out there that you see, and then all those women that you don't see, that they are touching so many lives. We went to the preschool graduation of Mother's Day, Parents' Day out the other day, and a lot of the teachers and the leaders of that, and so there's just a lot going on here that empowers women and that encourages women.
Absolutely. And like you said, I think from the most obvious spaces of letting women and celebrating women being in the pulpit, all the way from some things that are kind of behind the scenes and everything in between. I love that Trinity is a place where you can come and serve, and there's not any sort of cap on that. There's not any sort of, you can do this until this point, but it just recognizes gifting. And that's such an amazing gift. And I think it transitions really well into the last thing that I wanted to ask you about is, how do you hope that Trinity Baptist Church can continue to empower and support women for the years to come? Because as we've discussed, there have been things that happened 30 years ago that still have a ripple effect. So what's your hope for the next 30 years that we can see women growing up in the church? What do you hope for them?
I do think there's no limits to women or men or anybody here at Trinity Baptist Church, which is wonderful. And what you had said earlier about, seeing a need and then filling that need. And I think Alpha Home is a perfect example of that. That, in 1965, a lady, a member of the church, came to Buckner and said, there are all these facilities for men with addiction, but there's nothing for women. We need to start one.
Wow.
And we did. And it's still going on today, and those women's lives are touched and touches all of us. And, I just, that I think is a perfect example of how we empower women. And I do think, in Proverbs 31, it sounds like that women are leaders and they're helpers and they're multitaskers and they're doers.
Yeah.
And I know years ago, whenever we were teaching Sunday school, and I looked at one of the roles and it had teacher, Randy Patterson, worker, Phyllis Patterson.
Like, wait a minute.
So I said, I think that's who we are.
Yeah.
The women are the workers.
Yeah.
And that's great. That here at Trinity, I think you can lead and be led. You can teach and be taught. And then you can love and be loved. So
it's a really beautiful way to say it. And I know for me, one of my favorite things is that I have 2 daughters, and they're 1 and 3.5. And so it hasn't fully been processed by them, but that they've been able to come to the church and be loved by children's workers. They've been able to have people who are teaching them, who are women, and they've also been able to watch their mom preach. And I think that's just such an amazing gift that for them, that's going to be something that they've just inherently grown up with. And it's not going to be something that is going to be a shift or unique. And so that's one of my big hopes, that Trinity can continue just for women who are growing up, young girls who are growing up, that they can just see that this is what the world can be like, and that you can use your gifting and you can follow the call that God has put on your life. And you don't have to wonder, wait, but is this for me? Have I been confused by it? I know I had to process a lot of that. And so I'm so excited that my girls are just getting to see it on display fully. And just knowing that Trinity Baptist is a gift for them and for all these little lives that are being born, and it will continue to be a place that is trailblazing into the future. And that's my hope and my prayer as we vision ahead.
And it's that caring family of believers, that I forgot the mission statement. Communicates. Let me start over. It's that caring family of believers that communicates and applies the life-changing message of Christ's unconditional love. Whether you be a woman or a girl or a man or a boy, God's given us our gifts. We're here to use them and to serve Him and to serve others. So this is a wonderful place.
Absolutely. And if you are a part of Trinity Baptist Church and you are looking for a place to serve, I would really encourage you to find Phyllis, because she is a master connector and wonderful person to help plug you in and find your niche. And she's just such a gift to us. So thank you for sitting down with us today. Thank you for sharing this beautiful story of decades and decades of you dedicating your life to this place, and even more importantly, to the kingdom of God. We are so blessed to know you and for you to be a part of our church family. Thank you, Phyllis.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is just one of a series of different conversations we're doing for the 75th anniversary of Trinity Baptist Church. So if you would like to hear more of these conversations, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, and you can like and subscribe and watch all of those there. Thank you for being with us today.